Welcome to Tax Insights, presented by Hawkins Ash CPAs.
Good morning, listeners. Welcome to Tax Insight here on WOMT with Jeff from Hawkins Ash. Jeff, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Terry.
We are talking about the IRS automatically correcting some returns.
Right, because now that we're past May 17th, and the tax filing season is basically done. Now, there's still a lot of returns where people have extended them and they still have to do their returns, which are due on October 17th. But for the most part, a lot of people have filed their returns. Because of all the tax law changes that have happened here over the last year or so, the IRS is actually looking at returns and taking, I think maybe for the first time, some proactive steps to correct some errors that people are making on those returns and sending out additional refund checks.
So in the past, I know that people had to file an amended return for some of these changes, correct?
Right. So normally, if you owe, the IRS additional taxes due to an error that you make, they obviously they'll contact you for that. But if you didn't take advantage of something that saved you money and that would normally produce a refund, the IRS normally would not contact you for that. And that's where the change is happening.
And I'm guessing that this has to do with all of the tax changes that has been occurring.
Right. So for a while there was a lot of changes that I'm sure taxpayers, they probably couldn't keep up with. Plus, some of these changes happened after somebody actually filed their tax return.
Right. I remember that we were talking about unemployment income, correct?
Yes. So just to remind everybody, as long as your income was low enough, generally with an adjusted gross income of maybe $150,000 or less, then up to $10,200 of your unemployment income was not taxable. But the problem with this is that many people that, could take advantage of this, they already filed their returns by the time that this rule change happened. Well, the IRS announced this week that they're starting to recalculate these returns and automatically send refunds to these people without having them, needing to do amended returns. There was, somewhere around 10 million returns that the IRS is looking at right now to see if that unemployment income was calculated correctly.
So the IRS is also looking at the premium tax credit changes as well, correct?
Yes, because due to that tax law change, anyone who would normally have to pay some of their premium tax credit subsidy back, they didn't need to in 2020. But once again, that kind of happened in the middle of the season. So for those that filed a return and maybe paid some of their subsidy back because they earned too much income, those individuals can also expect the IRS to recalculate their return and get a refund.
So what about the subsidy payments? Is the IRS sending additional checks for that also?
Yes. And this subsidy payment was a little confusing to people because, the economic impact payments that people received back in April of 2020 and in January of 2021, well, they were actually prepayments on the 2020 income tax return, even though they received them well before the return was filed. Well, now that people are actually filing those 2020 returns, the IRS is reconciling them to see if the payments that were sent out match up with the payments that should have been sent out based off of their 2020 income. Now, for some people, their income was too high in 2019, and therefore they didn't get any stimulus checks. But they might have lower income in 2020. For these taxpayers, if you have lower income in 2020 and you should have ultimately received those payments, once again, the IRS is automatically going to send you a check or direct deposit if you qualify. Now, some people reconciled this on their own on their 2020 return, but for those that didn't, the IRS is doing it for them. And the other good news, this is kind of one of those, which is kind of weird, it's a good news situation. If you receive too much subsidy, because maybe your 2020 income actually went up, you don't need to pay that back. So that's good news.
That is great news. Jeff, a lot of this is awesome information each and every week here on the program. What is the best way for listeners if they have questions, if they want to learn more? How do they connect with the team at Hawkins Ash?
I would definitely go to our website, hawkinsashcpas.com, or we're also very active on social media like Twitter and on Facebook.
Jeff, thank you for your time, and we'll talk to you next week here on WOMT.
This has been Tax Insights, presented by Hawkins Ash CPAs. Learn more online at hawkinsashcpas.com. Hawkins Ash CPAs. Part of your business, part of your life.